Alright, what's up guys? It's your boy Rich here, back at it again. And let's talk about men and women when it comes to watches. Are luxury watches a men's only club? And if it is the industry missing out on half the market? So when it comes to the fashion world, women dominate. It's one of the only industries where they get paid more than a man. In fact, a female model can get paid as much as 5 times more than a guy. And if we walk around any department store, we'll notice that the men's section is always smaller than the women's. So clearly, the purchasing habits of women are better than ours. So why do we mainly see them wearing fashion watches or department store watches or smart watches while we wear the more expensive ones? One argument could be we were introduced early on by inheriting our grandfather's watches or pocket watches, introducing us to watches at an early stage and setting the tone for our interest in watches versus women's.
This watch is on your daddy's wrist.
So let's go back to the purchasing habits for women. We know they're willing to spend money. In fact, they're a lot better shoppers than we are. If we have intentions to go to the mall for socks or underwear, we go for socks and underwear and we come home. But it's different for women. They can't just buy one item. If they buy a shirt, they have to buy pants, matching shoes, handbag, crazy accessories, and finish off with a trip to the cosmetic counter on things that are foreign to us. And they still don't have anything to wear. And when it comes to watches, women will buy a Rolex or an Omega, the same watches we buy as our first luxury watch. They are the 2 most famous watch brands on the planet. But how can a watch manufacturer introduce women to a world outside of Rolex and Omega? And would women be interested in a world outside of Rolex and Omega? As we climb the horological ladder and become more educated, we seek out exclusivity. We want the rarest of rare watches, and we become obsessed. We crave exclusive watches. And whenever we see a limited edition, we're all over it. And if we're talking about ultimate status symbols, a watch is the ultimate status symbol for us. When it comes to women, I think it's reasonable to say a handbag is their ultimate status symbol. As they graduate past Coach and Michael Kors, they'll seek out the more luxurious brands, the more well-known luxurious brands, such as Hermes, Givenchy, Saint Laurent, Louis Vuitton. And that's where the problem is. None of these handbags are subtle or indiscreet. Their logos are prominently displayed on the handbag, and in some cases, such as Louis Vuitton, it covers the entire handbag. So for us, while we seek exclusivity with our Grail watch, it seems that women want other women to know just how expensive and flashy their ultimate status symbol is. This is not to say that all women feel the same way about luxury watches. There are, however, very few high-profile women in the industry, and one who comes to mind is Suzanne Wong, who is a fantastic editor. And for those of us who aren't familiar with who she is, you might recognize her collaborating with the Watches TV, especially during Baselworld. And it's very unfortunate that there aren't enough women like her in the industry. A lot of watch brands don't make watches for women. IWC doesn't make watches for women. And some of our Grail watches or Grail brands don't make watches for women, such as Lange or FP Journe or H. Moser. So how can they attract women customers? Well, they can't wait a generation or rely on the father-daughter relationship to introduce women to watches at an early age. They want immediate results. So how about taking a blueprint from Omega, where Omega always has a presence at the Olympics, or Rolex at Wimbledon or PGA? Would sponsoring high-profile events be the answer? Well, it could. But is this also a situation of robbing Peter to pay Paul, or vice versa, however that saying goes? Because a large part of those watches that we seek out as Grail watches is their exclusivity and the rarity of watches. It has nothing to do with making watches only for men. So while that strategy may attract some women customers, would it lose us? Well, for me, it might bother me a little bit because that's not what I signed up for, meaning a commercialized brand. If I'm seeking out those brands, I sought those out because of the rarity of those watches. So yeah, it might not be a deal breaker for me. However, I know there are some people who would no longer be interested in those brands if they started going commercial, because that's not what they signed up for. So it is a tricky situation, and I'm not sure if that is the right answer or the right solution to attract women customers. So let's talk about this. Let me know what you guys think. And thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time. When I held a private watch society event in February, we had a nice mixture of female guests. And one of my favorite stories by one of them was when she said she hates it when people assume all women want to wear is a Michael Kors watch. I don't care for the men's only club. I actually prefer mingling with women who share the same passion and interest in watches. I think it makes it much more interesting and exciting. So what is the solution? So what is the solution? So what is the solution to attract women customers?